All right, Georgia fans or A&M fans that are watching this, what's going on, everybody? This is Gen716 back here again, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Georgia A&M football game. Upset alert, didn't happen. Georgia squeezed out with a win here, but man, if you are a Georgia fan, you got to be proud with the defensive effort of your football team. Jesus, I wish Bama's defense could be just as good as Georgia's defense this year. I mean, in the past it was, but this year, I mean, Georgia's defense is, man, are they really, really good? Are they better than Auburn's front? It's debatable. It's debatable, but I mean, it's neck and neck, man. Man, that front seven is really, really good. The secondary, I think the secondary is really, really good too. But man, John Atkins, Tyler Clark, I'm probably forgetting some other names out there. Freaking Tay Crowder, Monty Rice, Richard LeCount, J.R. Reed, DJ Daniel. I mean, those guys. I mean, you saw the depth. Nolan Smith. You saw a lot of those young playmakers out there. Nakobe Dean. Just a lot of young playmakers that are sophomores, juniors, just making plays out there on that defense. On that defense. Now, this is against A&M. But A&M's not a bad football team. Prior to the loss, they were 7-3, and A&M's a good football team. To be honest with you, they should be a top 25 team because they are good. Their only losses have been to Clemson, Bama, Auburn, and Georgia, which are ranked teams. How the hell is A&M not ranked? I don't know, but USC is. I don't get it. But anyway, A&M, they fought to the bitter end. I mean, they fought to the bitter end. They made adjustments in the second half with Kellen Mond out there. His receivers made plays. They got open. Osborne, Davis, Kendrick Rogers, and Whittemire. Man, that tight end is going to be a stud for the next 2 to 3 years, man. He is going to be an absolute stud out there, man. I knew he was special after he made some plays against Matai, but man, he's a very, very special talent, and it's going to be a debate. That last offensive drive, man, is going to be really debatable whether if it was a holding call there. I thought it was a holding with Tyreek Stevenson, but man, again, it was terrible officiating all day. I mean, SEC officiating, it's the worst in college football. It's the worst, I think, in sports, man. SEC officiating is horrible, but there were calls that could have gone either way for both Georgia or for A&M. But Georgia won this football game, man. They won this game. And, Georgia fans, don't be discouraged by this win. A&M is a really good football team, right? They fought Auburn tooth and nail. They fought Bama not tooth and nail, but they fought Bama really hard. And LSU fans, watch out for A&M. A&M is not no pushover. A&M can score some points, right? They can score some points. I think that actually this experience that A&M had against this Georgia defense, I think could really help them next week. Because LSU's defense is nowhere. They're talented. They're just as talented as Georgia, but they're nowhere near as good as what Georgia's defense is capable of. Right? They played Georgia and Auburn, which are the two best defenses that they've played against all year, and Clemson. I forgot about Clemson's. We all know Clemson's defense. A&M has struggled against those defenses, but LSU, I wouldn't be shocked at all if that's another shootout. Man, Georgia defense, got to give them a lot of credit. They won them this game. That defense is for real. And it's going to be very, very fun watching that SEC championship game between Georgia and LSU. That's going to be a fun game. The best offense against the best defense. That's going to be a very fun game to watch. But offensively for Georgia, man, y'all got a lot to worry about. Jake Fromm has regressed. He missed throws. And I understand it's raining, right? He had to change the glove. But, man, he's not all of it is on Jake Fromm because the receivers are not getting open either. But, man, he missed throws. He missed a lot of throws out there that I definitely think that if you're a Georgia fan, you got to be very concerned about. Where's the Jake Fromm from last year? Where's the guy that's completing over 70% of his throws, that has almost a 100 QBR, that threw for 300 yards against a pretty good Alabama defense in the SEC championship game? Where's that guy at? We haven't seen that. Georgia fans haven't seen that guy all year. So that's worrisome. Now you are playing again. LSU's defense, they're good, but they're nowhere near as good as Georgia's defense. But so is A&M. A&M's defense is decent. That's a very young, decent defense. But they're on that same par. If not, LSU's defense is just a little bit better than what A&M's defense is. They got guys on the defensive line that are better. They got probably more athletic linebackers and definitely a more talented secondary than I would say than Georgia's receiving core is. And if you look at the LSU secondary with Derek Stingley Jr. going against George Pickens, or Christian Fulton going against Dominic Blaylock or George Pickens, or a battle, right? You got Battle out there, right? Jacoby Stevens, Delpit out there. I mean, LSU just has a much better defensive personnel than A&M's defense is. And Georgia couldn't score 20 points on that defense. That is troublesome. At least Alabama scored 47 on the road. LSU's offense is just as good, if not just a little bit, tad bit better than what Alabama's offense is. What do you think LSU's offense is going to do? That's the question. Now, that defense can keep up, but offensively, I don't know. Can they keep up? I don't think Georgia's defense is going to hold LSU's offense to under 20 points. That's not going to happen. I think even Georgia fans even know that. So that offense got to step it up. Now, we've seen Jake Fromm step up in big-time moments, right? The national championship game, he stepped up. The playoff game against Oklahoma, he stepped up. We've seen him against Bama in the SEC championship game, he stepped up. And there are a lot of big-time moments where he stepped up in. They're going to have to get that Jake Fromm from the national championship or from last year. They're going to have to get that guy back. Because the throws that I've seen, it's just really uncharacteristic of Jake Fromm. And again, not all of it is on him. The receivers got to get open too. That's a very young receiving core. The receivers got to get open too. But man, those throws, man, Jesus, I definitely know Georgia fans are definitely concerned. Now, DeAndre Swift, the running game with him and Brian Herrien, they're fine. You can definitely run the ball in LSU, right? I definitely think that can happen. But Alabama had a 150-yard rushing day against LSU. They couldn't win. They had a great rushing day against LSU. They still couldn't win. So, yes, you got to have to run. So, yes, I think for Georgia, I think they're going to have to run the football, dictate the game, really control that time of possession. But is that going to be enough for Georgia to beat LSU? I'm just not sure about that, especially because LSU can score on you in less than a minute. They can score on you in 1 or 2 minutes. They rely on short drives. Their quarterback is better than Kellen Mond. That's a Heisman quarterback. The running back is better. Their offensive line is better. The receiving core is better than A&M's receiving core. And A&M has a top-tier receiving core. Man, I'm just saying, Georgia, that offense has got to step up. That defense cannot carry that team to a national championship trophy. That defense is going to have to step up. That offense is going to have to step up. I can't believe I even said that. That offense is going to have to step up, though. Not DeAndre Swift, but Jake Fromm. So is the receiving core. The offensive line is doing its job, but man, y'all got to score some points if y'all going to be LSU. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. A great win for the Georgia Bulldogs. I think with this win now, they have now they've clinched the SECs, but they have now, I don't think they got anything to worry about now because you guys are beating Georgia Tech. But Georgia, LSU, the SEC championship game, it's going to be a very, very fun one. The best defense going against the best offense. Hopefully Jake Fromm can step up for you guys, and we can have ourselves a great football game. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. This is Gen716. I'm out. Peace.